Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys, brought to you by the National Hockey Now Network. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, presented by National Hockey Now, Wednesday, March the 1st. Yes, March has arrived. It's Ian Cameron and Alex B. Smith ready to break down the Wednesday NHL card. 6 games, a few more than usual for a Wednesday. Looking forward to this card tonight. Again, thanks to everybody that either tuned in or joined us live on the Betcast last night. It was lots of fun. Once again, it was a grind from a live betting perspective, but that's what it's going to be sometimes. You're not going to just go through the night clear sailing and win every bet. It's just not possible. But we still enjoyed it. Lots of fun. Threw back a few pints of beer. Watched a pretty exciting, entertaining night of hockey in the NHL. We wrapped it up with that great finish with the Bruins and the Flames last night. Somehow Boston gets completely dominated and still wins the hockey game. That goes to show you just how special things are going right now for the Bruins and the historic season they're having. Incredible performance. I mean, you might as well just chisel Linus Ullmark's name on the Vezina Trophy right now after that game last night, because I don't think there's any way another goalie has taken that trophy from him at the end of the season. A spectacular performance, but it was a great betcast, lots of fun, lots of laughs, and we certainly appreciate everybody joining us last night, and we'll do it all over again next Tuesday, March the 7th. Once again for our next live betcast at 7 p.m. Eastern. Rather than a recap of last night's action, we're going to focus more on the stuff that went down off the ice yesterday in the NHL in the trade department. And certainly it's been a busy, few days. Of course, the Patrick Kane trade is official. Yesterday, the New York Rangers now have Patrick Kane on their hockey team. And again, it's amazing that they were able to get him and not give up a whole lot to the Chicago Blackhawks in order to get Patrick Kane, who he will not, though, make his debut, as we'll get to in a little bit with the Rangers-Flyers game. He will not make his blue shirt debut here tonight. Tomorrow, that will happen against the Ottawa Senators. Yeah. So, but Patrick Kane, a New York Ranger. The Leafs, an incredible flurry of deals for them. I mean, no GM probably was busier yesterday than Kyle Dubas. Out goes Rasmus Sandin to the Washington Capitals. In comes Eric Gustafsson. Out goes Pierre Engvall to the New York Islanders. And in from the Vancouver Canucks as well comes Luke Schenn. And all of a sudden, and you factor in the trade they made the day before on Monday with Chicago, bringing in Jake McCabe and Sam Lafferty. It is suddenly incredible to see how much depth this team has up front, depth on the blue line. They've got 8 defensemen right now, currently. And that's why I think they're going to make another trade, because they've got 8 defensemen right now still on their roster, that are up with the big clubs. So I think another move has to be made, but they have got really depth at all positions right now. The Leafs are clearly going for it. And if we're going to get through the first 2 rounds, we're going to have to go through Tampa Bay and Boston to do it. 2 of the absolute best teams in the NHL. So absolutely, it was a great day for Kyle Dubas, because on paper, he's clearly put the Leafs in a better position to succeed come playoff time. Now the onus is on the players. I don't want to hear this nonsense about Dubas didn't get the job done. Dubas didn't put a quality team together. He did. They've just got to fucking play like it at playoff time. That's what it boils down to right now. So great job by him yesterday. Great job, Ken Holland. I don't want to hear also from Edmonton. They bring in Matthias Ekholm from the Nashville Predators, the exact piece they need. A shutdown defenseman, someone that will actually be tough as fuck and sturdy defensively in his own end. And Matthias Ekholm will be that for an Edmonton team that lacks that quite a bit. And I don't want to hear that they overpaid. Did they overpay a little bit? Okay, maybe they did. But this is a desperately needed player for this Edmonton team. They needed a defensive-minded defenseman. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, we overpaid for Matthias Ekholm and then complain that they didn't get a defensive-minded defenseman. You've got your stay-at-home defenseman, your number 1 shutdown D-man. He's probably going to play with Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse has had a rocky season. You watch Matthias Ekholm probably make him a whole lot better. It's a great move for Edmonton. It's one they had to have. We've seen the defensive warts lately. We've seen the defensive struggles reappear for the Oilers. their last handful of games. So applause for me, at least, to Ken Holland for going out there and getting Matthias Ekholm, strengthening them on the blue line. And then if we thought all of that yesterday and the day before was enough in terms of trades and deals, we got the bombshell last night, right around the time the betcast ended last night. We already had heard rumblings that the LA Kings were hot on the trails of both Vladislav Gavrikov and Jonas Korpisalo from the Columbus Blue Jackets in a deal last night. And we were automatically thinking to ourselves, what does this mean for the legend, Jonathan Quick? And that's what he is with the LA Kings. He's a legend. He'll forever be a legend with this hockey team for as good as he was for over a decade, the multiple Stanley Cup titles, just the stellar play every single season in the Stanley Cup playoffs, during those runs. He's a legend in LA, period. End of story. What would this mean for him? And what it meant was he was going to get sent the other way. And that's exactly what happened. The LA Kings end up trading Jonathan Quick to the Columbus Blue Jackets in the final year of his current contract, in a season where he's probably very well could be his last season, where he could be retiring at the end of this season. And right at the tail end, after his whole career with the LA Kings, he gets shipped to the Columbus Blue Jackets in exchange for Gavrikov and Korpisalo. Here's my thoughts on this. And this is split in two ways for me. I think from a hockey trade perspective, from a hockey standpoint, this is a phenomenal trade for the LA Kings. And I know the people that were in love with Jonathan Quick may not want to hear it, but this is a good hockey move by Rob Blake. I don't love the way they dropped it on him. They basically told him on the flight that he's been dealt to Columbus. You got to do it in a better way than that. Bring him in a one-on-one sit down and just talk it out that way. You don't just, on a plane casually say, hey, Jonathan Quick, we've traded you to Columbus. I don't like the way they handled that part of it. But from a hockey trade perspective, it's a good trade for the LA Kings. And look, it's a tough business. I get it. There's human beings involved. There's emotions involved. There's friendships. There's relationships involved. I get that totally. But this is a hockey business. This is a business of winning. This is a business of trying to win a Stanley Cup right now. If you're Rob Blake and you're the LA Kings, there is no doubt that they're a better hockey team now with this trade. You've got a shutdown defenseman playing on the side on the blue line that they desperately needed more depth, and another good defenseman on that side of the ice. They get it with Gavrikov. Korpisalo has put up very good numbers this year on a bad Columbus team, a bad Columbus defense, a riddled injury-wise Columbus defense this year. There's no doubt this makes them better, the LA Kings. So if you're a fan of the team right now and you want to see this team, do the best they can at playoff time, you should be applauding this trade, because it's a good move that makes you better, in my opinion. And to me, with how good Korpisalo played in Columbus, and now he plays a better team and a better blue line in front of him, there's really good possibility that he's going to go there and play quite well. I think it's going to be a 1A, 1B situation. And, I don't think there's a clear-cut starting goaltender. I think Todd McClellan will ocean here down the stretch of the regular season between Phoenix Copley and Jonas Korpisalo. So that'll be interesting to see that play out. I think from a hockey perspective, this is a great trade for the LA Kings. But there's the other side of it. And I get it. It's the human element. There's no doubt. If you're Andrzej Kopitar and you're Drew Doughty, the two guys that are still on this team from those Cup years, this hits you like a fucking ton of bricks. It just does. And Jonathan Quick was the backbone of this franchise for so many years. Like I said, the great playoff years, but we have to be realistic. I mean, the human element is tough to say goodbye to that guy and not have him finish his career with LA when it looked like he was this close to doing so. It's tough. It's hard. I'm sure this was gut-wrenching, to say goodbye to Jonathan Quick here, because I'm sure everybody wanted to see him finish with the LA Kings. But here's the thing. His season has not been good. Let's be real. Let's be brutally honest here. Jonathan Quick's season has been a nightmare for the LA Kings. He's been awful, okay? And I think what sealed his fate and what put this trade into full-on motion was last week. Jonathan Quick started against the Islanders, and he actually played pretty well in that game. You'll remember the Kings won that game against the New York Islanders, and he played pretty solid in that game. The whole team did, but it was a good win. And I think McClellan and maybe consulted with Blake about this. They probably said after that game, look, he's had a tough year. Copley's been starting most of the games, but he played well against the Islanders, and he got a win, maybe a little confidence. Let's put him back in the next game and see, because he hadn't started back-to-back games in a long time, Jonathan Quick. And sure enough, they gave him the start Sunday against the New York Rangers. And remember, that was a game where the Kings were actually in a rest advantage spot, catching the Rangers on a back-to-back after playing Washington the day before. So they played the Rangers Sunday night. They gave Jonathan Quick a second straight start. He played pretty well against the Islanders. And in that game against the Rangers Sunday, Quick was awful. Okay, I can't even say it enough. He was horrific in that hockey game, and the Rangers, ran away with it. I think it was 5-2, 6-2, something like that. It was not a good game at all for Jonathan Quick, and I think that's the moment where Rob Blake realized, I think, that maybe it's just not going to happen for Quick this year. Getting consistency, getting hot, getting on a run, putting together consecutive starts in a row. And I think that's probably what ended up saying, you know what, we're a better hockey team if we trade Jonathan Quick and we get more depth in goal. And I know from a human element, this is gut-wrenching to trade away a guy that was this close to finishing his whole career with the LA Kings, and it's hard. It's hard to reconcile that, especially with Jonathan Quick, especially just when they drop it on him last night. I'm sure he's just, it just can't believe it that this has happened, especially to Columbus. You think he's excited to go to Columbus there, a team going nowhere this season and what's probably his final NHL season? Of course not. You understand why he's upset, and you understand why Kopitar and Doughty are probably, emotional seeing their longtime teammate, all the bonds, all the celebrations and the trips and just the moments you have with Jonathan Quick all these years. I totally understand why they're broken up about it, Kopitar and Doughty in particular. But at the end of the day, they're a better hockey team now. I hate to say it, but they are. And now they've got depth in goal. They've got a great shutdown defenseman in Gavrikov. It's a tough business. It is. That's the way it is, and that's unfortunately the way it has to be sometimes. So yeah, it's raw emotions, saying goodbye to Jonathan Quick. But let's be honest, he's had an awful year, and I think the tandem they've got in net is stronger now than it was before. And it's, again, tough to say that, but I think that's the game. Maybe he was thinking about this 2-3 weeks ago, Rob Blake, trading away Quick, just kick the tires on it. But I think that Rangers game, you gave him an opportunity to put 2 good starts in a row together for you, and he completely was awful in that game. Off his game, a couple bad goals. He should have stopped a couple of those, I thought, against the Rangers. And I think that was the kiss of death. That's when it became crystallized to Rob Blake that we got to trade Quick. We got to trade Quick because we need a tandem that we can rely on and count on at Stanley Cup playoff time. And unfortunately, that was a tandem that would not involve Jonathan Quick based on, unfortunately, a really rough season that he has had. Alex, finally, we'll get you in here. What do you think here on the trades from yesterday, including the big Quick sending to Columbus?
Yeah, so one of my mom's favorite movies growing up was The Godfather. Like, I grew up watching that, and one of the lines in there, Michael Corleone goes, "It's nothing personal, Sonny. It's strictly business." And that's exactly the way the LA Kings went about this trade. And we talked about it last night on the Betcast. We said, wow, it would be in bad taste for LA to trade Jonathan Quick, but it seems to be the only thing they can do. I mean, there's no way they're going to be able to move the same $5 million cap hit that they have with Cal Peterson somewhere. And even then, if you were to do that, okay, well, now you have 3 goalies. You still have Quick up, with the $5.8 million cap hit. There's just no viable way to make this work by keeping Quick around and making the upgrades you need as a team that's on the verge of making the playoffs. And not only that, but making a deep run in the playoffs. We talked about LA. This Western Conference is wide open now. LA with some hot goaltending. If they can get Copley playing the way he was at the beginning of his year, that earned him another deal extension on his contract. Or if Korpisalo can find some new life and new form in Hollywood, we're talking about a team that could probably make it to a Western Conference final or even win the West potentially. So if they get hot at the right time. So it's a move that had to be done for sure. It sucks. Obviously, you hate seeing a veteran guy getting moved. This isn't a Patrick Kane to New York deal. I mean, Patrick Kane's going for his 4th Stanley Cup. Jonathan Quick certainly not going to get his 3rd Stanley Cup right now going to Columbus. So, it's unfortunate in that aspect. He's a Hall of Fame goalie, more than likely, and certainly going to have his number retired in LA and everything. He's the best goaltender in Kings history, but it's just unfortunate his time had to end this way. And it'll be interesting to see, there's rumblings about Columbus could take half of his salary, eat that, and then move him somewhere with a place that needs goaltending. What are the odds that he might pop up in Vegas? I mean, we could be talking about Quick playing against his old team in the playoffs if he ends up going to Vegas, depending on how things shake out in the Pacific. What if he goes to a place like Pittsburgh? There's some teams that could use some help. And so that's not to say that he's going to stay in Columbus 48 hours from now.
Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely, I think, what's going to happen. All the Pierre LeBrun, Pagnotta from fourth period, and Drager, all these insiders are pretty much on the same, course here with Jonathan Quick, that Columbus is probably going to turn around and trade him. Just has absolutely no desire to be there. At least, bring him into a situation where, he can go with a team, be a 1A, 1B. And Vegas is the perfect fit, in my opinion, because they still have Logan Thompson out long term. Aiden Hill, look, can we sustain Aiden Hill long term and give him all these starts and put the number one job on his shoulders solely? No. And Jonathan Quick could go in there, do a little tandem with Aiden Hill for now, and give him some a little veteran experience there in between. Someone that's won a Stanley Cup as well. You can never have enough Stanley Cup winning experience in your dressing room, in your room, and he's certainly going to give that to the Vegas Golden Knights. I know the Pens are maybe somewhat interested in Quick, and I know there's Toronto, because they're just so concerned about Murray's health long term. They think he can be a capable number two with Samsonov, but just can't stay healthy. It seems, Matt Murray. And I know they're maybe in on it a little bit, but I think the best fit for both the team and for Jonathan Quick himself is definitely the Vegas Golden Knights, and it wouldn't shock me to see him end up there by Friday.
What are the odds that we see a three-way deal with these goalies? Maybe Quick goes to Vegas, Brossoit goes to Toronto, and Murray, who's, like I said, it's kind of a reclamation project at this point, goes to Columbus.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be.
That fills everybody's needs, because you get the veteran goaltender to work with Hill in Vegas. You get a solid backup who can hold his own and is not going to battle for any number one time in Toronto. And then you got Murray, who, like I said, dealing with his, trying to stay healthy and, just kind of playing out the string. Well, he can do that in Columbus. And, if anything, he's going to probably, maybe play mid-range to poor, which helps Columbus's chances of trying to get the top pick. So that might be the way to go for all three teams, honestly.
That's a theory that's actually plausible. Like, that's not like, there's some people that throw out these crackpot trade theories and trade possibilities. That's actually something that honestly could happen. Now, long shot to happen, but it's like, theory wise, it makes sense for all the parties involved. A trade of that kind of trade. So it'll be fascinating to see what becomes of Jonathan Quick, because I will tell you right now, I'll be stunned if he's a Columbus Blue Jacket come 3 p.m. Eastern time on Friday.
Yeah.
I think somehow, some way he will get moved, because I know one thing's for sure, and I believe those reports to be 100% fact, that he's not the least bit happy to be going to Columbus and in the fashion like this. So it'll be interesting to see what happens between now and Friday on the Jonathan Quick front and the Jacob Chychrun front, which he's the last domino to fall right now. We're still waiting on where Chychrun will end up. There's still a bunch of teams. Pittsburgh. I'm hearing that Ottawa is making a late push now on Jacob Chychrun too, because they just dummied Detroit, a team that they're battling with for a playoff spot. Ottawa's right back in the hunt again, and it's not like the teams that they need to catch are, teams that, they can't maybe track down, because they've also been inconsistent all season. You can't tell me they can't track down Islanders or Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh barely beat Nashville last night. So definitely it'll be interesting to see now where Jacob Chychrun also ends up before Friday's deadline. And by the way, Friday we'll be on the air with our regular daily show at 2 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be the final hour before the trade deadline. So we will be sure to keep everybody up to date on the trades that may be breaking that final hour leading up to the deadline on Friday's edition of the Ice Guys. All right, let's get to Wednesday's card. We got 6 games. We'll start with the New York Rangers and Philadelphia Flyers. This is a TNT game taking place tonight, a doubleheader on TNT. This is the first game. Rangers -230, road favorites, 6 the total. I know TNT must be disappointed at least a little bit. Patrick Kane's debut isn't happening until tomorrow night, but it is what it is. I think they just wanted to, get him a chance to just take a breath, collect his bearings a little bit, settle in just a little bit with the team, with the organization, and he'll play tomorrow against Ottawa. That, and you're playing the Philadelphia Flyers. You may be able to beat the Flyers and should be able to beat them without him. I think that maybe there's some sentiment. They won't say that publicly, but I'll say it. They probably think that way as well. To the Flyers' credit, Alex, we've talked about how hard they've worked all season. They've been an undermanned group. They just don't match talent-wise, especially firepower up front of some other teams. But you can tell this team is now hitting the wall. And I think the reason for that is, look, they're playing teams every night that are battling for playoff spots. Points are at a premium. And, you're talking about a Flyers team now that, when a team is really not going to look past the Flyers, they're going to have a tough time. That's just the way it is. They're going to have a tough time winning those kind of games. And they've really been hurt by the fact that they've been without Travis Konechny. He's been a heartbeat for this team all year. He's had an excellent season, 54 points in 52 games for Konechny this year, more than a point per game. I think he's had one of the more underrated, not talked about great seasons in the NHL this year. So him being out has been a big time setback for the Flyers. Again, their depth up front has been an issue all year. Can you get consistent offense from this forward group? It hasn't always been the case, of course. You've got Owen Tippett, I think, has been pretty solid. But, when you're talking about an inconsistent Morgan Frost, Noah Cates hasn't given them much offensive thump. Farabee and Lawton have kind of disappeared lately. They got an ugly 7-0 loss in their last game over the weekend against New Jersey. Like I said, they've only got one win, the Flyers, in their last 8 games. So it's definitely been a rough patch for them. I really don't want any part of the Flyers. It's a question of, do you back the Rangers here? I am concerned about this being a look-ahead spot to tomorrow with Kane joining the team. Do you take the Flyers for granted? You've got the big debut set for the MSG tomorrow night against Ottawa. The Rangers should take care of business. I just don't feel like I'm in a rush to bet the Rangers either. I don't want Philly, but it's not like I'm in a rush to bet the Rangers here. I'd lean to them in regulation. Maybe you look at an over team total. We've kind of seen the Flyer defense kind of fall apart here in some recent games. They gave up 5 to Montreal. They gave up 7, of course, to New Jersey in their last game. Not pretty numbers. The over kind of makes some sense to me. I mean, they've gone 6-1 to the over Philadelphia in their last 7 games. And we've talked about how New York now with this improved forward group, how they've been transformed into a bit of an over team as well. So, I'm lukewarm on all 3 of those. A Ranger at regulation bet, a Ranger team total over, and a full game over are all leans for me. Maybe I dabble on them here, but it's nothing I'm overly excited about. I'm looking more at probably a couple of props, if anything, here tonight in this hockey game. If you look at the way the shots on goal numbers have been falling lately, I want to shout out Vincent Trocheck here. 6 shots on goal against LA, 3 points in that game, 2 goals. And since he's been paired up here in the forward group with the recently acquired Artemi Panarin, with Tarasenko, although I do think there's going to be some shifting tonight, it looks like, in the lines, because Trocheck's been with Tarasenko mostly, but it looks like Tarasenko with Zibanejad and Kreider, Panarin with Trocheck and Kakko on the second line. But I still think looking at Vinny Trocheck to find the score sheet tonight seems to be a good bet. His form is very good. The New York Rangers right now, it seems to be giving him more confidence. His point prop tonight, it's only -145, not a bad number. I could see him finding the score sheet. It's certainly streaking in that direction, trending in that direction, without a doubt, going into this game. As far as shots on goal are concerned, if you look at the matchup here, I think this might be a good advantageous spot here for Zibanejad. His shots on goal at it's over 2.5 with juice, or over 3.5 at a plus price, depending on what you look for. Panarin, yes, Panarin point prop is always, way too pricey to bet it on its own. But if you want to throw it into a same game parlay or a parlay of some kind, you absolutely are able to do that. Tarasenko for the New York Rangers, of course, he has fit in rather nicely here for them since they got him. Now he's gone 3 straight games without a point. But we'll see if he comes alive here tonight against the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't really love his props. I'm waiting for him to really get on a run. There's definitely potential that tonight against this Flyers team that, again, their defensive game has kind of crumbled the last 2 games. This could be a spot for Tarasenko to get back on the score sheet. And again, you're only talking -125. So, yeah, even though We're talking about Mika Zibanejad going 3 straight games without a point. This feels like a spot where he can hit the score sheet for sure against this Philadelphia team. So, and the price isn't bad at all. Like I said, minus 120 to minus 125 with that. I think Alex lost internet connection for just a second. Hopefully he's able to rejoin us in a minute when he returns. We'll get his thoughts on this game tonight. Let me just see, is there anything else I'm missing here in terms of props for this game? Not really. There's props. I'm heavier on props in some of the other games tonight, but there's a couple that I would be looking at for Rangers Flyers there that I just mentioned. All right, next up, shots on goal for Hedl. 15 shots on goal last 5. So definitely you could look in that direction as well. I think his shots prop is actually reasonable as well. Currently only 2.5 and only plus 102 at Pinnacle, minus 118 at FanDuel, minus 115 at DraftKings. So yeah, that's a reasonable shots on goal option as well as Philip Hedl. Again, the last 2 games he's only had 2, but you go back further than that. He had a stretch against Detroit, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Edmonton where he went over 2.5 shots in 4 straight games. And again, keep in mind the opponent, Philadelphia, routinely this season giving up 30s in terms of shots on goal to their opponents. So this might be the night where Philip Hedl, despite the last 2 games staying under, can get back up and over his shots on goal prop. Speaking of getting back, Alex B. Smith is getting back with us here on the show here. Alex, thoughts on the Rangers and the Flyers?
Yeah, so that play, I was looking more of the live first period over. $1.35 is not bad, but these are 2 teams that don't really score super fast. We have seen the Rangers get on a nice little hot run to the first period over, so I'm going to be looking to grab that at plus money. That's the only thing I like here. Obviously, like I said, TNT certainly disappointed that this is not Sir Patrick Kane's debut with the Rangers, but I think they're going to be fired up, and I think they should do enough to put away Philly here.
All right, good stuff. Toronto and Edmonton. We've got the Leafs minus 125, road favorites, 6.5 the total. Leafs, of course, busy as fuck the last 2 days, really going back to the O'Reilly trade, real busy in terms of trying to improve this team. How are the pieces going to fit, and how quickly are they going to fit together and gel together? That's the biggest question. I mean, this is a lot of changes, and this lineup tonight for the Leafs compared to what it looked like in their last game Sunday night against Seattle is going to look a whole lot different. So these are all good players. These are all good moves that the Leafs have made. They're most assuredly a better team on paper now, but like with most teams that make big deals like this, you still have to remember that the pieces have to fit. And it could take some time. For as much as we loved Sam Lafferty and we love Jake McCabe, who are surely going to make their Leafs debut tonight, we're a little more unsure about Luke Schenn, just because of the fact that, he's traveling in. We'll have to see if he's ready to go just in time. But keep in mind, I think he's also dealing with the fact his wife's about to give birth to their child. So you might not see Luke Schenn tonight, and it doesn't look like he's going to be in the starting lineup, at least as of right now. Things could change, but right now it's looking like a Morgan Rielly, TJ Brody, Mark Giordano, Timothy Liljegren, Jake McCabe, Connor Timmins, a group of 6 defensemen tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs for this game against the Oilers. And of course, Sam Lafferty will make his Leaf debut tonight, and it looks like he'll be on the 4th line with Aston Reese and Nola Chari, Kerfoot, Camp, Yarncroke, the 3rd line, Tavares, O'Reilly, and Nylander, the 2nd line. And a great job by Sheldon Keefe against Seattle. He said, Austin Matthews, we know he's a great player, but obviously this hasn't been the season he had last year, and I think that we could do something to help get him going a little bit. He decides to put Mitch Marner with Matthews in the Seattle game, and sure enough, what happens? 2 goals for Austin Matthews. Great coaching. You got to give Keefe's a pretty damn good coach in terms of adjusting. He doesn't stay status quo if things aren't working. I give him credit for that. Puts Marner with Matthews, and Matthews has a 2-goal game against Seattle on Sunday night. So to me in this game, there's a lot of good options. I think Matthews, we know Matthews is streaky. We know the odds are never that great for him to score a goal, but I could clearly see him finding the back of the net tonight, reestablishing that chemistry with Mitch Marner on the top line. So I know only plus 112 at FanDuel to score a goal, but I will be betting that here tonight in this game. McDavid's on a goal-scoring streak, and of course, people are going to hype this up as McDavid on one side and Matthews on the other. You just know they will. They always do that in these games. And McDavid is actually trending to scoring goals in bunches. He hit the 50 mark over the weekend, or last game, I should say, against Boston. And here he's gotten a goal in 4 straight games. He's gone over 1.5 points in 4 straight games and over 4.5 shots on goal in 4 straight games for the Edmonton Oilers. So anything McDavid, especially when he's, Matthew's going to want to play well. McDavid's going to want to play well. So it makes sense here in this game to target props with both of those players here in this game tonight. Nylander over 3.5 shots on goal. I've been talking about that prop repeatedly. I think that's a good look as well tonight in this hockey game. I wish there was a Jake McCabe prop on. You know how in the NFL, Alex, you can bet defensive tackles and assisted and solo tackles?
Yep.
There's sometimes there's some really good opportunities with defensive props. I would have loved to have been able to bet a Jake McCabe over hits prop tonight. Because I think in his first game with his new team, he's going to want to really, really make an impact and just show that physicality that he can bring. But unfortunately, that's not at our disposal. But if there was such a thing, I think that blocked shots, shots would certainly be. There are some books that post block shot props. So if you can find that with McCabe, that is definitely, I think, something to look. Same with Giordano. I should be capitalizing more on block shot props that are offered from Giordano. I'm going to start betting that, actually. And Giordano over 1.5 shots blocked tonight. Like, what is he, the leader in blocked shots now for the franchise? I mean, it's just unbelievable. He's just a road grader. So, these are sometimes some good props to look at as well. And you would expect Edmonton to be shooting the puck quite a bit as well. Yeah, Zach Hyman against his former team. I think that's probably a good look, too. And to score a goal, absolutely. And look, he's been playing well offensively this year anyway for the Oilers, and he's plus 160 to score a goal here tonight in this game. Like I said, Nylander, by the way, is on a 7-game point streak, but you do have to obviously pay a premium for that. So if you're going to bet the point prop, you got to put it in a parlay of some kind. But he has been rolling offensively, no doubt about that. Nylander, by the way, has an assist in 4 straight games, and that prop is only plus 125. So that's a good look, too. Assist prop, Nylander. Again, he's had one in 4 straight games here for the Leafs coming into tonight. So that is definitely worth a look. Again, you know what you could do here tonight in this game here as far as the props are concerned. You could go with Nylander point and Hyman point, parlay them together, get close to even money. Might even get a good plus price on that. So definitely some good options there. As far as the side and the total goes, I mean, Edmonton is having a tough time right now, and I want to see if Ekholm's going to be in for them. We'll have to wait and see on that. Again, they were talking to him via, satellite yesterday when they introduced him to the team. He hadn't arrived in Edmonton yet, so that probably means you won't see him tonight. We'll have to wait and see. I'm just going to see if I can get an update on that. It's a game time decision for Ekholm, but obviously it was a big, massive addition and will help that blue line. So this is one of those games where aside and like right now, I have to lean Toronto. They've actually played well in Edmonton in recent meetings between these two teams. They've really done well here in this build. They've done well in Alberta, period. If you go back and look, Toronto has actually won in Edmonton 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight times dating back to 2021. So the Leafs have had all kinds of success here in Edmonton, 5-0 in the last 5 meetings in Edmonton. Remember, a lot of Leaf fans are out there in Alberta. They make the trip out there. So, it wouldn't surprise me to see the Leafs. They're certainly the team that's in a little bit better form. I lean Toronto here, and I also lean over just because you got so many new faces. There could be some screw-ups. There could be, a few mistakes with the puck. Let's be honest, as good as McCabe is on the blue line, he's working with a new team, new defensive partner. Sometimes it takes some time to develop that chemistry. So you could see just in this first game, maybe a few hiccups, especially on the back end for this Leafs team tonight, and we'll see. But that has me kind of leaning toward this game over. Not to mention Edmonton's just been, for the most part, trending over the total, and we'll see if that continues here. The games in Edmonton, the last 2 have had at least 6 goals in them as well. So, and long term, actually, in Edmonton, between these two teams, we've seen 3 of the 5 meetings go over the total. So I do lean Leafs in the over. But again, lukewarm. It's a tricky game just because you got so many new faces on both sides, especially Toronto for this game. What do you think here, Alex? Leafs and Oilers?
Yeah, this is one where I'm going to pass for sure. We talked about this with Toronto making so many moves that I just want to wait and let all these guys get into a rhythm and let that starting lineup, what's going to be their official starting lineup, kind of gel together. So yeah, I probably will stay away from Toronto from a side perspective for at least the next 3 or 4 games. But I don't even like a total side in this, so I'm just gonna be completely off it.
You're right about that, Bo. Much cheaper to watch your Leafs play in Edmonton at Rogers Place than at Scotiabank Arena. There's no doubt. And like I say, I find the Leafs get more of a boost from the crowd when they're on the road sometimes, than when at Scotiabank Arena. Although Scotiabank Arena does pick up the volume in the playoffs. I noticed that in the Tampa series last year. That was a much louder building in the playoffs, which was good to see. But in the regular season, it's a Morgan there in Toronto.
Well, if you can't make noise for the playoffs, then what are you doing?
Yeah, why are you even going to the game?
Yeah.
Exactly. You're just going to sit on your hands, then don't even show up. I agree with that. All right, Arizona, Dallas. Well, the Dallas Stars show up tonight. They got beat by Vancouver in their last game in overtime, and they're laying another massive number, another borderline outrageous number based on their recent form. Minus 400 home favorites, 6 the total in this game. So I'm going to do 2 bets on this game, and I'm going to split them up. We're going to do Arizona or draw. This is a double chance bet that we've been betting a lot lately, a lot more lately in the NHL, going against some of these overpriced favorites. And without a doubt, this is an overpriced favorite. Arizona or draw, you can get at plus 200. Not a bad price there. I'm going to put a little bit on that. And I'm also going to put another half of that bet on just the straight draw in this game, which is upwards of plus 400, I believe. I'm just trying to see here. You can get, actually at Pinnacle, which is an excellent book for draw bets. You always seem to get some of the best prices to bet the draw at Pinnacle. Plus 446 currently at Pinnacle for the draw in this game between the Coyotes and Stars. I mean, we've talked about this just repeatedly on this show. 7 of the last 11 Dallas Stars games have gone beyond regulation. This team just at both ends of the ice doesn't have the consistency right now to be winning games comfortably. And it's not only that 7 of their last 11 games have gone to overtime or a shootout. Even the games that have not gone to overtime or a shootout during this span were damn close, to going to overtime or a shootout. If you look at their recent results, the Minnesota game, it was 4-1 Dallas, but Dallas had a couple empty net goals there. The Tampa Bay 3-1 win over Dallas was 1-1 with less than a minute to go in the third period. Tampa Bay got the game-winning goal to make it 2-1 with under a minute left, and then they got an empty net goal right after that. So it was that close, under a minute away from that game, cashing the draw and going to overtime as well. Of course, after that, we had the back-to-back games that went beyond regulation for Dallas against Boston and Minnesota. The Columbus 4-1 win, that was 2-1 Columbus late, and they put it away with empty net goals. It was a 1-goal game late, though, that close to another draw. The Chicago 4-3 win in Dallas. Tyler Seguin missed tying that game because the puck went in the net just seconds after the clock expired. And time expired, or else that game could have been a game that went to overtime. And then, of course, they enter this game on 2 straight games that have gone beyond regulation against Vegas and Vancouver. So they've been either going to overtime or buzzing around getting to overtime, pretty much in 11 straight hockey games, the Dallas Stars. So for that reason here, I think it's a situation where it's been cashing. It's like we're playing with a little bit of the house money right now because of the fact Alex and I have both been on, either the dog and the draw or the draw by itself in these Dallas Stars games. Now, the one concern here is you've got Arizona on a back-to-back, Dallas rested, Dallas off another tough loss. There is that fear at some point Dallas is going to just light someone up, but, we just have not seen evidence of that of late. And Arizona, with a nice win last night against Chicago, 4-1. I know, like I said, I know the Coyotes are on a back-to-back, not the most advantageous spot. Connor Ingram will be in net tonight for them. They are only 2-5, on a back-to-back this year. But the fact remains, you're talking about Dallas not winning games easily against anybody these days. When you're losing to Chicago at home and you're losing to Vancouver at home, that goes to show you don't need to be timid right now with trying to take your shot going against Dallas as a big favorite of this size right now. So for me, I've got a half and half bet here, Arizona or draw plus 200, and also the draw by itself. And again, at Pinnacle is where I bet it, plus 446, plus 446 on the draw at Pinnacle. What a price that is. Alex, what do you think here? Coyote Stars.
Yeah, I got the draw plus 410. That's what I played this morning, but that's a great grab. I can't get Pinnacle, unfortunately, here. But, I mean, that's just been what we've been doing with Dallas, the draw. I mean, you can legitimately make a case that 10 of the last 11 games could have gone to overtime. 8 of them have gone to overtime or a shootout. And it's just Arizona's been a feisty team. And even with Ingram, I still think this is going to be one of those games that goes back and forth, and it could be a tie at 3 past 60. So it's going to be Dallas is going to have to go at least 2 or 3 games with them either getting blown out or winning by margin before I get off of this draw move with the Stars.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I said, Ingram in net, Ottinger in net for Dallas. And look, Ottinger hasn't been great lately. Again, he's given up a 5 spot there to Vancouver in their last game. And, he's fighting through some struggles, and, the young goalie who was magnificent last year, especially in that first round series against Calgary, he's still very young. He's going to have ups and downs. He's going to have smiles and frowns. He's going to have bumps in the road, peaks and valleys like every young player. And I think Ottinger's kind of going through that right now as well for the Dallas Stars at this point in time. As far as the props go for this matchup here with the Dallas Stars and Coyotes, I'm back to the Miro Heiskanen shots train. We've been on his shots on goal prop quite a bit. And again, we talk about it with Arizona. They give up a lot of shots to blue liners on the other team. So it does make sense to go to Heiskanen here with the over shots on goal. I'm going to actually sprinkle on not only Wyatt Johnston over shots, but Wyatt Johnston to score a goal. He has been one of the best forwards lately for Dallas. I know Dallas has had their issues in terms of their recent form, but they can't blame Wyatt Johnston, the rookie, for it. He's been very noticeable. He's been all over the puck. I think his point prop at plus 110 to score a goal, you can go further at plus 330. I think is probably worth a look tonight in this game. I could definitely see him maybe finding the back of the net here tonight for the Dallas Stars. Like I say, this young kid, at times he's had some outstanding performances this year. No question about it for the Dallas Stars. We'll see if that continues here tonight in this game against Arizona. So there are some good options here as far as the goal, the prop market is concerned. Those are the main ones. If I were to look at Arizona props, we did talk about how, there have been some players that have been trending a little bit lately in terms of points. Keller's gotten a point in 9 of the last 10. Unfortunately, again, if you're going to bet Keller to get a point, you've got to put it in a parlay. It's a minus 175, minus 180 on its own, but he's been trending over point prop. Like I said, Johnston over shots on goal 8 of the last 10. Clayton Keller to get an assist, by the way, for the Arizona Coyotes. These assist props are gold. They don't adjust prices based on teams or players, Alex, that are consistently getting assists. I mean, Clayton Keller for Arizona has an assist in 8 of the last 10 games. His assist prop is plus 115. I mean, these are just outstanding to take advantage of these because there's just no adjustment. It's like they're not even paying attention, to what these players are doing in terms of setting up goals. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Barrett Hayton has a point in 7 of the last 10 games. Like I say, Rope Hintz might be worth a look. Schmaltz might be worth a look from a goal scoring standpoint. 7 of the last 10 games, Nick Schmaltz has found the back of the net, and he's plus 260 to score tonight. So, not bad options here as far as the prop market goes. And Rich H, good call with that. Not only Wyatt Johnston producing a little bit lately, but he scored in both games this year against the Arizona Coyotes for the Dallas Stars. So, yeah, this is definitely a game where I'm like I say, I'm going in on the draw in Arizona or draw double chance, and I think it's some decent prop options. This could be a night, too, where, again, we talk about the zone of shots that they allow. Definitely, you could look at a saves prop for Ingram potentially. That's always, I think, a live prop when you're talking about the Arizona goaltenders. They face a lot of rubber on a nightly basis, and that's the one thing I think you can expect from Dallas after losing to Vancouver the last game, is that they're going to try to fire that puck as much as they can on net here against Arizona tonight. All right, that is the first half of the NHL card. We got 3 more games on tap on this Wednesday night. 236 live viewers on YouTube. Hit the like button on the way out. We'll be back for the last 3 games of this Wednesday card right after we hear from Gramco.
Support for the Ice Guys is brought to you by Gramco. Whether you or your team's game is on the field, screen, racetrack, court, or the ice, Gramco is for the game. Grown by farmers who spent years developing premium hemp genetics, Gramco provides customers with consistent quality Delta 8 THC products ready for any occasion. Gramco currently offers numerous Delta 8 products, including vape cartridges, disposable vapes, pre-rolls, gummies, wake and bake coffee, and more. Gramco offers an enjoyable, legal high delivered discreetly and directly to you. Gramco is also available at many American retailers as well. You can get the best Delta 8 cannabis products on the market shipped quickly and discreetly from Gramco. And if you visit www.thegramco.com, use promo code Ice Guys, you will get 20% off of every order, and any order that's on the site over $50 will be shipped free with standard shipping. So live elevated with Gramco and check out their wonderful Delta 8 products today.
All right, we're back here on the Ice Guys. Great point in the chat. Someone about Evgeny Dadonov here for Dallas. 5 shots on goal, and he scored in his Dallas debut against Vancouver. So I think the shots on goal, I don't see them offered very much anywhere, but I definitely see the goal prop. I see the point prop. Point prop is plus 110, and the goal prop is in the plus 300 range. So Dadonov here for the Dallas Stars definitely might be worth a look. And again, he's going to get opportunity as well. Second power play. Peter DeBoer looks like he's got him placed on the second line as well for the Dallas Stars, or actually third line with Sagan and Marchment, but still 5 shots on goal. Man, you could tell he was definitely putting the puck on net. And look, if you're going to bet points prop and goal props, you want to see those shots on goal numbers up, because you're only going to get points if you're shooting the puck, and goals if you're shooting the puck. And he certainly did that the other night against Vancouver. So not a bad find there with Dadonov here if you want to go in that direction. All right, New Jersey and Colorado. Colorado minus 115, home favorite, 6 the total in this one. Great matchup here. New Jersey thinks they can make a playoff run. Colorado's looking to win back-to-back Stanley Cups, so 2 teams primed for hopefully good things in the spring. The New Jersey Devils, of course, with Timo Meier on the team, the big addition for this Devils team. However, he is not going to make his New Jersey Devils debut tonight against Colorado. Apparently, they're still evaluating, some of the injuries, and it's just his physical condition going into this game. It's only short term, so they say Meier should be ready to make his debut for the weekend, but it will not be tonight for the New Jersey Devils here in this game against the Colorado Avalanche. I said it on the other night that Colorado played against Vegas. I ain't stepping in front of the Avs, and it's the same way for me here tonight. I ain't stepping in front of the Avs. However, there is going to be a change tonight for the Avs in terms of going with Justus Annunen in net tonight for the Avalanche, giving giving Alexander Georgiev the night off here for the Colorado Avalanche. So he'll be in between the pipes here for the Avalanche tonight against the Devils. He did play, of course, against St. Louis a few weeks ago against the Blues. Played pretty well. 1 goal allowed on 20 shots. Again, that was when the Blues were just coming off the O'Reilly trade, reeling a little bit, and they took advantage of a team that obviously, since that trade went down, the Blues have not played good hockey, and Colorado took advantage of that. So this is going to be a taller task and a much tougher one for Justus Annunen here against this New Jersey team. So we'll see how he fares. The Avalanche honestly have played some pretty good defensive hockey of late. We'll see if they keep that rolling here. The teams met back in October in New Jersey, and it was a 1-0 win for the New Jersey Devils. So it was a very, very well-defended game, good goaltending on both sides, and you've got Colorado playing some pretty good defensive hockey themselves. The last 3 games, they have given up just 2 goals in the last 3 games combined. Granted, those were Georgiev starts, all 3 of them. We'll see if Annunen can keep the train rolling here tonight for the Colorado Avalanche. But the Avalanche have won 6 in a row. Like I say, they're starting to round into a playoff form. Even still with Eric Johnson out, Cale Makar out, they have been able to get through that and still be able to play well, win games. And again, they've got incredible depth on the blue line, so it definitely helps to sustain them in spite of the fact they're missing a couple of key players there on the back end. So this one, I would definitely still be interested in Colorado. I probably will bet Colorado now at a deflated price because, again, they've bet New Jersey. This open minus 130 with the Annunen news. I don't want to treat Annunen like he's garbage. He hasn't shown you that he is. He had the 1 start against St. Louis. He played well. He only gave up 1 goal. I know this will be tougher, trying to hold down this Devils offense. But, this looks pretty damn cheap, if you ask me, for a team that's won 6 in a row. Colorado Avalanche only minus 115 on their home ice. So I think I will get involved with the Avs a little bit. I think the total is, I get that feel like with New Jersey's trended over lately. Colorado's been very, very good defensively. But I look at the Colorado results the last 3 games. Winnipeg, was in a tough spot off a road trip. They shut them down. They played Calgary, who, as we saw last night, they could have 50 shots on goal and still only score 1 goal. That's the nature of facing the Flames. And then Vegas, they shut out Vegas the other night, and Vegas, not a consistent team to light up the scoreboard night in and night out. So I think this is a game where we might see a little bit more of a flow, a little bit more of an end-to-end type of game. So the over does appeal to me a little bit here, over 6, especially because it's 6 and not 6.5. So Avs and over, certainly interested in both of those. What do you think here, Alex? Devils, Avalanche?
Yeah, I like this first period over. I'm not going to wait and grab it in game. I laid the $1.25 earlier. If you're seeing anything higher than $1.30, I would suggest maybe waiting in game. But like I said, with Annunen, yeah, he's not garbage by any means. This guy's a sturdy goaltender. He's a guy who can give you a spot start here or there at the NHL level. I think in due time he'll be. I project him to kind of be maybe a 1A, 1B option at the highest, in a couple of years. But this is not a bad spot. If anything, I would kind of lean with the draw. I could see where both teams, obviously, with their playoff positioning right now, they're not going to risk doing anything crazy late if this is a close game or a tie game. But I feel more comfortable with goals early in the contest, and that's something we've seen from New Jersey of late. So go first period over 1.5 minus $1.25.
All right, there you go. First period over for Alex with New Jersey and Colorado. Prop-wise in this game, again, we've got Jack Hughes, by the way. He's gone over his shot prop 8 of the last 10. And I know you're talking about with Hughes usually 3.5, 4.5 now with some of his shots props, but kind of a showcase game for him. 4.5, at least you get a very good plus price on it, plus 135. I don't hate taking a shot at plus money over 4.5 because he's been shooting it a lot lately, especially now he's getting his feet under him now. He's been back for enough games following the injury absence. So Hughes, I think, becomes a focal point in terms of shooting the puck. Look, McKinnon has just been on a tear in terms of shooting the puck for Colorado. There's no question about that. If you look at the way he's been playing, he's been shooting the puck quite a bit as well in recent games. McKinnon's gone over 4.5 shots in 7 of the last 10. McKinnon, by the way, is on a 4-game goal-scoring streak. So if you believe in ride the streak, you want to be on Nathan McKinnon here to score a goal tonight. 4 straight games for him with a goal. And like I said, Hughes has gone over his shot prop 4 straight games as well. You know who I'm going to take on New Jersey? It's just unbelievable. Dawson Mercer just is incredible for us. I mean, he's just every game now lately, a goal and a point. And every game we've been betting it lately. And every game, Dawson Mercer continues to reward us with just outstanding play for the New Jersey Devils. He's been excellent. He's taken advantage of this opportunity playing with Hischier and Tomas Tatar on the top line. He has now gone with a goal in 6 straight games and a point in 6 straight games, and yet still the prices remain very, very value-laden for Dawson Mercer's props. Plus 100 to get a point, plus 310 at PointsBet to get a goal. How about that? I mean, the guy scored in 6 straight games. You can get plus 310 on him to score a goal tonight for the New Jersey Devils. So, yeah, absolutely outstanding here, the way he's played lately. You just keep rolling with that as far as I'm concerned until it loses. He has been just consistently producing goals and points for the New Jersey Devils. Hischier has gone over his shots prop in 3 straight games, so probably put that on my prop card here tonight as well. Rantanen has scored in 5 straight games. So kind of like Mercer, where, the streaking goal scorer, it's hard not to bet them. I know the price isn't the best, plus 120, but Mikko Rantanen is on a 5-game goal scoring streak. Hard to ignore that going into this game. Big Val Nichushkin for the Avalanche on a 5-game point streak. So this is a great game because you got so many players that are in great form scoring a point. 5 straight games with a point for Big Val Nichushkin, and he's minus 145 to get a point at DraftKings tonight. So there you go. Still a very good price for a guy on a 5-game point streak for the Avalanche going into this game tonight. So great prop options here in terms of there's a lot of players that are in very good form right now. And whether it's goal prop, point props, assist props, and, trending toward a good streak in those categories. So definitely some good options there tonight in this game. The Jack Hughes assist prop is minus 114. He's got an assist in multiple games in a row. And the same thing with Nichushkin as well for the Avalanche. He's gone 3 straight games with an assist going into tonight's game against New Jersey. His assist prop is as high as plus 140, plus 150. So, there is just all kinds of great prices with props involving players that are trending toward getting those props hit, whether it's point prop, goal prop, assist prop, shots on goal. It's going to be a really good prop game for me here, this Devils and Avs game tonight. Like I said, a lot of good menu options on the board. This is like that buffet table. You just can't make up your mind what you like the most. There are a lot of things that appeal for sure in this one. All right, final game. I believe this is the final game. Yes, it is. No, we got 2 games left. Washington and Anaheim. Washington minus 190, road favorites, 6.5 the total. In this one, of course, the Capitals, a busy team yesterday as well, including, of course, trading away Gustafsson to the Toronto Maple Leafs. They get Rasmus Sandin in return from the Leafs. It'll be interesting to see if he's able to get out to the West Coast quickly enough to be in the lineup tonight. That remains to be seen. As far as the Ducks go, they've got a few more absences tonight. Henrique's on IR. Kulikov on the blue line is out. John Klingberg on the blue line is out. Both of them scratched, I believe, due to trade-related reasons. So they expect to be moving Kulikov and Klingberg probably before the deadline on Friday, this Anaheim team. So they're definitely a little short-handed at the back end. This is one of those games where if I'm betting it, I'm just keeping it simple. Capitals team total over 3.5. I think that's probably a good look tonight. I want to take the situation. I don't want to trust Kemper right now. Kemper's a bit of a up and down erratic mess right now. He was very good against the Rangers. Laviolette decides to start him on the back-to-back against Buffalo on Sunday, and he was just lit up in that game by the Sabres. He kind of snapped mentally after that game, broke his stick, and then he got pulled right after that. So he was kind of a basket case in that game. So plus, the one thing I'll say about Anaheim is, they're actually playing some that they're winning right now, 3 straight wins now. And the guy in net for the Ducks, John Gibson, is in net tonight, and maybe he stands on his head again. Who knows? Because he was absolutely spectacular the last 2 games of that road trip where the Ducks pulled massive upsets, plus 275 dogs at Washington in Ovechkin's return, and plus 400 underdogs at Carolina when they beat the Hurricanes 3-2. But no question, he was just spectacular, stood on his head. But I don't know if that's going to be sustainable. I mean, if the Anaheim Ducks are going to give up, 43 shots like they did to Washington last week, and then 53 shots like they did to Carolina, eventually you're not going to win games doing that. And I like the angle of Washington losing to this team at home last week and now getting them a week later here in Anaheim. Anaheim sitting these guys, that are on the blue line because of potential trades. I think Washington tonight solves Gibson this time around. A weaker blue line in front of him tonight compared to last week when they played in Washington. So I like the team total here for the Washington Capitals in this game. That's the way I'm going to go about it. Washington team total here. You can get it at over 3.5, minus 118 at Pinnacle. Pretty reasonable price. Alex, what do you think here? Capitals, Ducks.
Here we go. Okay, trying to figure out how to do this thing on my phone, but I like the Washington team total as well. I was kind of looking toward Washington first period puck line, but like I said, I don't know. I just feel like this could easily be kind of a back and forth game, maybe early, and I feel more confident backing Washington to get goals rather than, like I said, even putting this game away because they've been struggling so much. And obviously, I can't remember the last time I bet Anaheim money line in a pregame spot. I probably won't be doing that at all the rest of the way that they're playing. So it's definitely looking like a live game, but I would definitely go with the Washington team total. I'm surprised it's not 4.5 at this point. 3.5 at minus 120, even with how bad they've been playing lately. That's still a decent price and a decent number.
All right, there we go. So Caps team total over for both of us in this one, and lean toward that first period there on the Capitals as well. Prop-wise, there's definitely some options here that we have at our disposal as well in this game. I think as you look at it, I do want to mention something here regarding Tom Wilson, shooting the puck a lot more. And I think, a goal and a point prop of some kind for him is probably not a bad option here for this game tonight against the Anaheim Ducks. I want to mention too, Ovechkin over 4.5 shots since he's been back. He's certainly been looking to shoot that puck. And I know you're getting 4.5 with his shots on goal prop, but definitely you could end up seeing the Washington Capitals firing that puck quite a bit here in this. So, and Ovechkin at over 4.5, still think he could find his way up and over that shots on goal number. As far as some other looks here in this game, there are some good ones. I'm just taking a look here what we've got in terms of Washington and Anaheim. I've actually lost the screen here for a second. Hold on. We'll get it back. That's what the beauty of doing a show live. There we go. TJ Oshie, a goal in 3 straight games. TJ Oshie, a point in 3 straight games. Troy Terry, a point in 3 straight games. Troy Terry, a goal in 3 straight games. Jakob Silfverberg, a goal in 3 straight games. So there you go. You've got multiple players here on this for both teams streaking in terms of scoring goals and collecting points. You got Oshie points, Oshie to score a goal, worth a look. Terry to get a point, probably worth a look, although you want to check the price on that. Sometimes it's a little pricey for Terry just to get a point. Yeah, actually not bad tonight, minus 135 to get a goal, plus 260. And he's, again, gone 3 straight games with a goal for the Anaheim Ducks. Silfverberg, who is someone that is just, his offense isn't what it once was earlier in his career. He's more of a depth forward now, but he's scored in 3 straight games, and he's upwards of plus 475 at BetMGM and DraftKings to score a goal tonight. So if you buy into the streaking goal scorer in Silfverberg, there you go, an incredible bargain bin option right there for the Anaheim Ducks tonight. And like we said, TJ Oshie has been very good lately. He stepped up his game, which is what you expect from a very good player at this time of year. Plus 185 to 90 to score a goal tonight. Only minus 138 to minus 140 to get a point as well for TJ Oshie tonight. So why not? I mean, he's definitely playing well in recent games. There's no question about that. Yeah, apparently, that I heard that too, Rich. Ovechkin wasn't thrilled that Dmitry Orlov got dealt to the Boston Bruins. So will that impact? I don't know, but I just think from a situational standpoint, Washington got the game robbed of them by Gibson last week in the nation's capital. I think they figure some things out offensively tonight in the rematch. Yeah. All right, final game, and this is a good one. This is the second TNT game tonight. This is a really good late-night game, Carolina and Vegas. Carolina minus 140 road favorites, 5.5 being the total here in this game. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And I actually want to answer that question someone had about Sandin. Is he in the lineup tonight for Washington? We'll have to wait and see. He's questionable for this game. Immigration issues, they need to be I doubt it. I know what that's like when you're trying to go from a Canadian team to an American team and vice versa. Sometimes it can take some time. So I would say no in terms of him being in the lineup tonight for Washington on the blue line. This game, I mean, this should be a good one here. You've got Carolina going on the road against this Vegas Golden Knights team, which is now off back-to-back losses against Dallas and Colorado, and looking to turn things around tonight against Carolina, who suffered a shocking loss to the Anaheim Ducks solely because of the heroics of John Gibson. 53-15 were the shots on goal in favor of the Hurricanes, but they end up losing 3-2 to the Anaheim Ducks. I do want to point one thing out between these two teams. We have seen 2 of the last 3 meetings go beyond regulation. Vegas has gone beyond regulation in 3 of the last 4 games overall. That's kind of where I'm going in this game, the draw. I think it's going to be a competitive game. Vegas is at home off 2 straight losses. I expect a good effort from them. Carolina clearly starting a very important road trip after a stunning loss to Anaheim, where they actually deserved the win, clearly. But John Gibson, stole the game. But still, it was a loss. They're going to want to start the road trip bouncing back with a win. I think Vegas is going to want to bring it after back-to-back losses. So I think you have a very, very competitive game, a pretty close game. And at the end of the day, I think you've got a game that's got a real chance to go beyond 60 minutes. And like I said, a couple of years ago, they played in Vegas. The game went into overtime. And 2 of the last 3 head-to-head meetings between these 2 teams have gone to overtime. So my number 1 draw look tonight is clearly Arizona-Dallas, especially at that price. But I would look in that direction. here in this game as well with Carolina Vegas. The draw plus 328 right now at Pinnacle in this one. What do you think here, Alex? Hurricanes, Golden Knights.
Not so fast, my friend. I like Carolina in regulation in this one. I got it at plus 105, and I do see where this could easily be a bit of an OT game. That's not a bad look to take with Vegas, especially at home. The way that they kind of trend under, keep games low and slow. But I just think Carolina is going to come out hot in this spot. And talking about what moves that have been made, and I know a lot of us like that Puljujärvi deal going to Carolina. That's something that'll be huge moving forward. I think Carolina gets on a nice little run, and I think they will not just get on a nice little run, but they continue to play well. And I think they're going to maybe even take it a step further once Puljujärvi's in and integrated into that lineup. But I like Carolina in this spot in regulation, plus 105. Didn't want to lay that $1.40 price. I think they could take care of business here. I think it'll be tight early, and I think Carolina kind of pulls away late. So it might be some time to look for a live spot as well, potentially. And also like Seth Jarvis, I got his over shots on goal 2.5. That was minus $1.10 this morning. It's now minus $1.40. So I think a lot of people are having the same mindset there, but you can even adjust it and go 3 or higher at minus 115 at Bet Online. So at least 3 shots or more. That's the best way to do it rather than just a straight over under.
Yeah, cat's out of the bag with that, although it's still minus 120 at DraftKings. So there's still some decent prices out there with the over 2.5. Yeah, absolutely. It has to be on the card. Has to be. We've talked about this now repeatedly a couple of games in a row, and that's absolutely top of the ticket in terms of player prompts, maybe on the entire night, but certainly in this game. Seth Jarvis over 2.5 shots on goal. 8 straight games that he has gone over 2.5 shots for the Carolina Hurricanes. There's no question that is a must bet here tonight. In this game, Brent Burns has gone over 2.5 shots in 3 straight. I like that prop as well. Not as much as Jarvis, but I do like that prop as well. Him to get over 2.5 shots in this game tonight. Burns also has a point in 8 of the last 10 games for the Hurricanes. He's really started to, move that puck, jump into the play, be a massive difference maker. Offense from the blue line, including on the power play, and he's only minus 125 to get a point in this game tonight. So. The Burns props, shots on goal, and point prop are definitely live, in my opinion, here tonight as well, going into this game. As far as some other props that you might be interested in, we mentioned Jarvis. I still wouldn't shy away from Shea Theodore point and assist prop. It didn't obviously cash the last game. They got shut out by Colorado, so obviously those props would have lost the other night. But I would go back to it. He had gone over. He had gotten a point and gotten an assist in 4 straight games before that Colorado loss. So you're still getting pretty good prices. And with those props on Theodore, again, to get a point minus 108, to get an assist plus 120 here tonight against the Carolina Hurricanes. What else is there? There's a couple more. Tara Vinen maybe over shots on goal. Could see him getting over that number tonight for the Carolina Hurricanes. Kind of been trending that way as well. Marty Necas, he's gone over his shots on goal prop in 60% of his games this year. It's actually even money. 3 of the last 5, he's gone over it as well. So definitely something to consider there as far as another shots on goal option. Maybe Marchessault tonight for the Vegas Golden Knights, and Carrier as well. Carrier's got to lay minus 165 with his shot prop, but he's gone over it in 4 of the last 5, 8 of the last 10. And he's actually gone over his shot prop of over 1.5 each time he's played Carolina. And same with Marchessault. Every time he's played Carolina, he's gone over that shot prop. So sometimes you look at the head-to-head as well and see what they've done in terms of, production, shooting the puck against a specific opponent. Both Marchessault and Carrier for Vegas, they've gone over their shot prop every game, every time they've played Carolina. So definitely keep that in mind as well for this game tonight. So not a bad prop look. Eichel, of course, starting to heat up. You could somehow get involved in props involving him if you're so inclined. There's actually an oddball prop too. Not an oddball prop, but I guess you could say it is. But Brett Howden actually has a track record of scoring a shit ton against the Carolina Hurricanes. And he's upwards of plus 710 at FanDuel. So if you really want to get crazy, there you go. But Brett Howden, for some reason, he plays Carolina. He scores goals. It's the damnedest thing. And look, he's only a depth forward for Vegas. He's playing on the 4th line tonight with Kolasar and Paul Cotter. But he could sprinkle still a couple bucks on that. Hard to ignore the track record of him scoring against the Hurricanes. So definitely something maybe to take a small little lottery shot on tonight in this game. Great stuff with Alex B. Smith. Another great show. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. 273 live viewers on YouTube. Check out patreon.com/Ice Guys. Just $10 a month. A brand new article just posted on the page, courtesy of Alex B. Smith. That, the Daily Ice Guys Show betting card, goalie charts, totals charts, you name it, and more. Patreon.com/Ice Guys. We're going to have another video piece with Nikita Kashersky that we're recording this week. We'll have it posted next week on the page as well. So tons of bonus content coming your way. And again, if you're thinking about tipping us and showing your appreciation for the show, that's the way to do it. It's only $10 a month. Sign up and subscribe at patreon.com/Ice Guys.
Yeah, definitely check out all the stuff we got going on Patreon, but also check out the Ice Guys store as well. That's iceguys.myspreadshop.com. You can get this wonderful hoodie that I'm wearing right now. You can get caps, t-shirts, mugs, all kind of cool stuff. And we might have some more stuff dropping pretty soon too as we head into the playoffs. So definitely want to check out Patreon, but definitely also want to check out the Ice Guys shop. That's iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
Yeah, definitely want to check that out. No question about that. All right, we got best bets to wrap it up here for this edition of the Ice Guys coming up after we hear from Manscaped. Support for the Ice Guys is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the promo code ICEGUYS. That's promo code ICEGUYS at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, it's about 14 million balls that you can preserve. The Performance Package 4.0 is the complete accessory package to take care of everything that is required. You've got, of course, the Lawnmower 4.0. Takes care of your facial hair and among other things. You've got, of course, the Weed Whacker. I'm approaching 40. Nose hair has become a major issue. It pisses the hell out of me. I need to take care of that shit, and the Weed Whacker can help you do that. Both of these products, waterproof and a 4000K LED spotlight for a more precise shave. And you'll also be able to take care of those delicate areas with the ball toner, with the ball deodorant, keep you smelling good, looking good, and feeling good down in the nether regions. This complete Performance Package 4.0 will take care of everything for you, for all you guys out there, and it's courtesy of our good friends at manscaped.com. So get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code ICEGUYS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. And use promo code ICEGUYS. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. All right, we're back here on the Ice Guys, and we are ready for best bets here on this Wednesday edition of the show. All right, Alex, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet?
Yeah, hopefully this doesn't cut out. But we're going with the Stars and Coyotes. We're going to draw. It's draw season. Plus 410, as high as plus 40 to plus 450. So definitely shop around. But Dallas has been just, living on the edge, making these games much tougher than they have to be, especially against lesser competition. So I'm expecting another close game that goes past 60 minutes here. Go with Arizona-Dallas draw. That is my best bet for this Wednesday night.
There you go. And I'm on board with that one as well. Arizona-Dallas draw. North of plus 400. Shop around. You can get really good price on that. Coyote Stars draw for Alex B. Smith with his best bet. My best bet for this card, I'm going to go back to a best bet that cashed for me last Friday. It's a player prop best bet tonight. Back to the well with Seth Jarvis, Carolina Hurricanes, over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 120 at FanDuel, DraftKings, among other places. It's still a very reasonable price. Minus 120, over 2.5 shots on goal for Seth Jarvis, Carolina Hurricanes, a guy that has gone over 2.5 shots on goal in 8 straight games coming into tonight. How can you argue with that as a best bet candidate? Seth Jarvis, over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 120, my best bet here for this Wednesday NHL card. That'll wrap up this edition of the Ice Guys. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck, and we will talk to you again tomorrow on Thursday for another edition of the Ice Guys presented by National Hockey Now.